Universal Heritage Television Nigeria. We are here again to bring you another package in our program, Daybreak Nigeria, our breakfast show. I have two gentlemen to discuss the issue of NLC strike in Imo State and the impact on the state. My name is Afam Echi. I have with me here Sir Ambi Uneze. Sir Ambi Uneze is the state editor of this day newspaper and as well Assistant Secretary General of Ezurezu Mbise. Sir Ambi, you are welcome to our program.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. And next to him is a regular on this program, the SA to Governor on print media. He is Modestus Mwamba. Modestus Mwamba, I remember, you are also a knight of
Semulumba.
Thanks for joining us in our program.
Thank you for having me.
It's okay. My name again is Afam Echi. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, let me begin with you, Modestus. The issue of NLC strike. In about 2 months, we are having a strike that has shut down activities in the state. And the NLC is pointing fingers at the government again, alleging the distraction of their May Day celebration. Are we supposed to be having a repeat experience of something like this that is affecting the people the government is supposed to provide for their welfare?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. You see, let me say that what Joe Ajero, the national chairman of, national president of NLC, is using Imo to do is very unfortunate. In the first place, there is no iota of truth in what he alleges or what he alleged that happened that resulted to that strike. Joe Ajero is just beating what I may call a rabid hatred on the governor, and another way of advancing his personal and selfish, clannish political interest in the state. And it's very unfortunate. Unfortunate in the sense that Joe Ajero is from Imo State. If for anything, he ought not have used Imo to text wrong his powers as the NLC president. Now you ask yourself, on that day of May Day, personally, I accompanied the governor. I was at the Hero Square, the Ndubisi Carlos Square, yes, where the NLC held their May Day celebration. And it was everywhere. I was surprised later on when I started hearing that the NLC had their May Day somewhere and it was disrupted. I didn't understand that because everybody was there. And that was where the May Day took place. So what I may say is that all these things are concocted, they are orchestrated by Joe Ajero, who for whatever reason best known to him, decided to do everything to disrupt the will of progress in the state. Now let me tell you, let me correct this impression. Labour is not on strike in Imo. Philip Umansi, who is the chairman of NLC Imo chapter, we attest to this. On that day, contrary to what Joe Ajero is doing and is saying, even Labour, even the civil service, we have demonstrated the happiness, their joy for the governor. They even gave governor award. They held him and listed literally of things governor had done, which they said had never, they've not seen it that way since before the governor came on board. So how could they have, the same people who eulogized the governor yesterday, how could they have gone on strike? Nobody was on strike. I will tell you, by the time we come back, I will tell you what is happening and who is on strike and why they are allegedly on strike.
Okay. So Ambi, you heard him very well. The two issues I want you to address is, he said Joe Ajero has shown a morbid hatred for the governor, and that the Imo workers are not on strike. Again, he said it is a concocted action, which implies that what the NLC is alleging never happened. I remember the workers said they were beating, they were holding their celebration in their secretariat. Now, Ambi, I don't know to what extent you will address what he has said now.
Thank you very much, Afam. Actually, Imo is our own. We are part and parcel of the state. And every sane Igbo man would want a peaceful state, a state where rancor, is a shield. So that is why when issues of rancor raise its heads, we condemn it. Nobody will be happy. Quite all right. NLC, that is the Nigerian Labour Congress, which of course started in 1978 under the military regime of General Murtala Mohammed. And since then, it has been playing its part, to as carrying workers' welfare, protecting workers, and making sure that government understands its own role and gives workers what is their due, and that has been there. Comrade Joe Ajero, who by the grace of God comes from Imo State, is not it's a known person in the labor, issues in the country. He has been there, and we know his stand. So, for labor to engage the state government 2 times in 2 months, that means there is problem somewhere. There is something the government is not telling us, and there is something that is not being, done well. Now, coming to the Workers' Day of May 27th. May 1st, sorry. Yes, we saw video clips, we saw on social medias where workers celebrating their May Day in their office were beaten, harassed, maimed, by those they call agents of government, And the government has not come out to deny that they did not know about the beating, that they did not know about the harassment of workers. Quite all right. Labor seems to have been divided. Government has her own share, her own part, and the main labor also has its own group. And labor and the top decides to hobnob with that one that they instituted, they recognized. In other words, the 1C group is not recognized by labor. That is NLC. It is only the state government that recognized them. And that is why the issues are happening this way, And the same issue in labor is not peculiar to labor alone, the division in labor alone. It is also in other organizations. For instance, the NUJ, where I belong.
Okay, hold on now to that.
Thank you.
I will come back to that. So, I come back to you, Mode. Now, you see, the first strike action that came up, the NLC alleged that their members were beaten up because the government felt the election was not going in its favor. And this time around again, they alleged that activities were going on until the security operatives informed them that there is an instruction, an order from above for them to withdraw. And they told them that they are no longer, whatever happens is to... And shortly after that, hoodlums swooped on them and attacked them. Now, these two issues coming from the authorities. Now, are you saying that the government has no role in these things?
Now, thank you very much. Let me clarify certain issues. Please, just give me a little time. One, when you talk about labor, you are talking about civil servants. Principally state civil service. I say principally civil and public servants.
They may have
state civil servants and federal civil servants. They constitute
organized labor.
Organized until you have now let me tell you.
Even the TUC, those ones that are public sectors.
Now let me tell you.
Okay.
As I said, labor is not on strike. Now, let me start with the first one that happened. Again, hold on.
When you say labor is not, let me ask you. When you say labor is not,
wait, I'm coming now.
No. Wait, answer this. If labor is not answered, why are we having power outage?
That's what I want to tell you. Now,
the airport.
Mr. Moderator, yes. Can you just give me time?
Okay.
You see, when I say labor is not, I mean it. See what happened. Joajeru, he speaks because he still despite the fact that he's still the national chairman, he's still national president. He is still the national chairman of electricity workers union till tomorrow. Now the last one, if I go into that one, you agree with me that the standard practice in labor is that anytime they want to go on strike, they give government time and say they will tell you why they are going on strike, and majorly it is about their welfare. They will not give government a day, 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, as the case may be, within which to resolve those issues. That is one. Nothing of such existed. That is one. Two.
You mean in the instant case?
In this instant case, in both the first one and the second one. Secondly, it is usually the local labor that will write to national labor and tell them that we are having issues with the governor. Either the governor is doing ABC against our ABC. Based on that, the national labor will not come in. In this particular case, the local labor has not incidented, they have not originated any matter. They did not write to the national labor. Judge on his own, somebody who ordinarily should be the judge, is not the person from Abuja, initiating issues. The first time he said the government interfered in their election. That was the first one. Now, what happened was that Joe Ajero wanted, it's obvious, wanted to...
Now, let me remind you the second issue you need to address too. He also said in the release why the strike action was imposed on the state, that the government has not signed the agreement they reached with labor in March.
Now I'm coming to that. Judge Ajero is coming back and forth, alleging sovereignty, bringing sovereignties together. Now, the first time he told the more people was that government interfered in their election. An election that Judge Ajero came to Imo to install his brother, his kinsman, one judge of Ebu. Just that he wanted to join the local level because he was the person who constituted the committee. Now the committee did their accreditation. They now discovered that a particular union, the health something union, because the chairman or the local chairman of every union are the people that will vote representing their union. In this case, he did everything to circumvent the rules. They refused. He now turned around and said that Philip Mansi will not be that. Philip Mansi has 5 years. He is already 60 years. Philip Mansi said no, that there is a new law which you and I know that federal government has now increased the examination. Even Joe himself has 2 years to stay, and he was made the national chairman this year. So that fell when he tried to do everything to install George. The local labor here resisted him. Before that time, he had even threatened that if anything George did not emerge, that he would destabilize the government. Joe himself said it. Now, when this thing failed, he turned around and alleged that governor, why would governor in the first place have a hand in who becomes a labor chairman? Whoever becomes the labor chairman will be for Imo State. Just but that's by the way. So Ajero, when that one, he now wrote to the local level to embark on strike. They refused. He wrote to Nupeng to embark on strike. Nupeng refused. This aviation sector, he really wrote to them to embark on strike. They refused. What he now did, he now turned around and they saw in electricity workers the only area he could convince. Now that was why they went on that first strike. When the pressure was much, he called the strike off by himself. This time around,
are you saying the government did not intervene?
You see, let me tell you.
When you say you call it off by
because
we are all here in this.
No, but because the pressure. Governor is not averse to interfacing with him. Just that, but the truth is that that strike, just like this second one, the first one was completely uncalled for, was completely unnecessary, was called by Joe and he himself only because there was no labor. It was only electricity workers that went on that strike. This one now, he said the place was disrupted. What they have failed to do they only showed pictures of tables that were turned upside down and chairs that were turned down. When this alleged action was taking place, nobody videoed it. Have you seen a video of where people were breaking? Now, even if assuming with that consider that actually took place, now Judge Ajero and his group know that there are people already that are having problems within the sector, having problems within their circle. That does not even concern the government.
Now, let me remind you. You see,
so how
particular action now was taken by both TUC and the NEL.
Fine.
So, are you now also saying it is a concoction? It is what Ajero made up?
No.
This
see,
particular action. Because we are already.
See, when you say TUC, except electricity workers, and the aviation. Which other sector is on strike, Nemo?
Can we come in
okay,
here?
Which other? Except TUC. Which other? Except these two.
So
Let me come in here, actually, because we are all involved. We are deeply concerned. You know, I'm not happy, and Imo people are not happy, you know, when there will be no light. And if you go to the airport, Sami Mbakwe International Airport, there will not be flight to go to where you want to go to. We were really affected. And that calls for concern. So if we have a government that is humane, if we have a government that has people's welfare at heart, if we have a government that, you know, issues of people, of the led, are their major priority. Definitely, this matter is not supposed to last 24 hours. Government should have done everything possible, humanly possible, to arrest the situation. Because, like somebody said in the radio calling yesterday, that whether the light, they took light, EEDC took light for, 100 years, it's not going to affect the governor, because the governor is comfortable in his abode. That is true. It is you and I, the commoners, that are being affected. You know, most families now, most homes now don't have water, because they normally use, water, electricity to power their water and all that. They don't have those things, and those who want to go to travel are being affected. So what do we do? Economic activity is stranded, is down. Whether workers are going to work or not is neither here nor there. The most important thing is that how do you solve the welfare of the people? How do government come in to make sure, to make sure that even if there is problem or there is any issue, that he should nip it in the bud before ever it affects the welfare of the people. That is what
I agree with you, but again, let me say that Governor Hope Uzodimma is very, very concerned, just as you and I. But the issue there is that, because anybody who is saying the governor has to intervene, let me tell you, when you are dealing with a man like George Ero, who already within him has a premeditated plan to cause harm. If George Ero is hold on. I don't think so. What do you think so? He has what the welfare of the people of the workers at heart. And that is what he's elected to. I told you. So he is protecting his work. I told you. He's protecting the people. What is it? I told you that, believe me, we are not saying the government ought to have intervened within 24 hours, that this matter ought to have resolved. You and I know that there are standard practice in labor. Strike is usually the last resort. Strike is not something you call spontaneously. Yeah. Just when CBN last time, this cash crunching, when labor has a lot of issues, they ought to have discussed. Now he's only involving in. Sorry, labor. Hold on. Let me talk. Sorry, labor gave government 24 hours, even 2 days. And the government, they gave them 3 days. 3 days notice. Listen. Labor decided. The labor met on Sunday. Okay, and they debated on the matter of Imo State, where workers were beaten. Okay, were attacked. They deliberated on that on Sunday and gave notice that by Wednesday. Even by Wednesday 12 p.m. that they will go on strike if nothing happens. It is not true. And between Sunday and Wednesday, nothing happened. Listen. So what do you think about that? If only you know the truth, you know how to approach this thing. The truth is that what labor alleged never happened. Now, Joe Ajay, who is the national chairman, and if for the fact is the national chairman, is primarily animalite. Now hold on, I'm not finished. I heard you cutting me off. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that labor, George Ero he knows what he's pursuing, and he will not get it in Imo State. What stopped George Ero from putting a call to the governor when he was made the national chairman? Governor called him and congratulated him. George Ero, all the time he do, if local labor is having problem as a stakeholder in the state, after being a national chairman, could George Ero not have intervened? Call governor, even come to government and meet with the governor. Now, this one you're saying he met on Sunday, because the last one he didn't do that. I will challenge him. Now he pretended he's doing it, giving 24 hours. Okay, let's look at it from the suffix. 24 hours, 48 hours, and is it enough to resolve such issues?
Modern.
Is that enough? So Judge knows what he's pursuing. And he will not, anyway, are you aware of this matter? Are you aware of this matter? That the court has decided on this matter? I hope you know.
Yeah,
the industrial court has given a judgment. So there's no need to discuss this. Yes.
No.
They only gave an order.
Yes.
Exactly. And that order, in fact, they said that according to what I heard, the industrial court, it is an order brought by government, an expert order brought by government.
It is not legal.
Okay. No, excuse me. And they gave the labor time to respond. Okay.
What happened? What happened?
On the 11th of May, the matter will be handled.
Exactly. So,
11th of May, what happens?
Excuse me. What I'm saying is that whether this matter goes to court or not, we can avoid the court issue. Yes, by calling it, it's avoidable by having a round table discussion.
All these things are avoidable.
All these issues are possible.
The issue of court came because Judge Ero is proving to. Let me give you background. Judge Ero did the same thing he's doing in Imo. Are you aware? In other state, he did it in Ebonyi state.
So why are you saying he's
no. Listen. Judge Ero is a full-fledged member of Labour Party. Are you aware? Judge Ero has a plan, an evil plan. He wants to institutionalize, at least in the southeast. So he is now using every force to do it in Imo. But I tell you, if it doesn't change, if Judge Ero doesn't change. Okay, let me not say.
No, don't just threaten.
No, I'm not.
There's no threatening.
I'm not threatening anything, but Judge Ero has to be very careful. No, nobody's threatening. No, I'm not saying that.
No, you withdraw. I think it's good you withdraw. But Judge Ero, we are in a national television. You don't need to threaten.
Judge Ero cannot come to Imo State. He cannot come to Imo State and cause problem for the commoners. And he's living in Abuja. He said, I'm threatening. Did I mention anything? I am not threatening you, but I told him to be careful.
We are concerned. We more people are concerned.
You have to be careful.
We have a governor. He is sitting governor. Excuse me.
At the slightest issue, you call off strike.
We have a sitting governor who will always want to. It flex. I believe that the governor knows how to make sure that at least this something. We don't need to be.
Judge has a suffering. He has a plan he's pursuing, and he will fail.
People are
he's already failing.
Okay, let us see.
He will fail.
But let me ask you, Model. Let me ask you. Just calm down. You see, let us play back. The government appears to have a penchant for interrupting in labor unions. Now, let us take the NUJ for example. Let us come to the issue of NUJ.
Are we discussing NUJ? Are we discussing? No,
it's part of
no. If you are discussing, you invited me for NLC strike. Let's discuss an NLC strike. But I want to discuss labor fair. No. You see, because you will drag us into another thing. I don't want us to go into. Let us talk about NLC strike. But that is the one that's AUJ or no AUJ. Those if government is having a problem with AUJ, the command it doesn't concern the command. They will not.
So the government role has polarized the union in the media. It is in Imo State you have two factions in Publishers Association to which you belong.
No, it's not true. Even NLC,
yes.
Judge Ero, yes, formed his own faction. He registered United Labour Congress. It was here we saw it in this country. Yes. He formed his own faction.
He has come back.
Even in Harvard where he worked. So he formed his own union.
Are you justifying government?
No. So see, let me tell you, human resistance.
You
see, government. When you say government,
both NUJ, Nawaj, IMPA in this state, we know the role of government, and some of them are working with the government.
My brother,
is it supposed to be the same?
My brother, we are discussing issue of NLC. Okay. You see, this ones you are mentioning, I have things I will say ordinarily, but I don't want to go into that. So it's not everything you say. Government has done this. Government has done that. You always want to point accusing finger on government without even pointing accusing finger on yourself. Because even himself who is here is also part of the issue in NUJ. So it's the government that is sponsoring him. But let us not go into that. Let's talk about NLC. People will be causing their own problem. Someone will be having problem with his wife in his house. You say Governor Sodema is the cause.
Okay. Now, we know very well that at least the, NUJ is part of NLC because it's a trade union, it's part of it. And we are not happy, at least as somebody who has vied for the position of the state chairman of NUJ in Imo State. And we knew the role government played, and the role government is also playing now, and that has left the NUJ polarized in the state. We don't have a body of NUJ. We have two factions, which of course, one is not, is moribund. Another one is being led by a caretaker committee, okay? And the matter is in court also. Yeah. We have been waiting for the court to decide on this matter. And that is why NUJ is not working, nothing is working in NUJ. And we had expected the government, we like the governor. He's a good man, he's trying, I must tell you, So I expected him to at least call all these unions together and say, my brothers, what is your problem? Can't we just work, amicably and move the state forward? That is the area I expected the governor. He's the father. He's our father. He's the father of the state. He's the governor. Okay? He's the father of the state. There is nothing the governor cannot do, and we say no. Anywhere he says, look at the way he wants things to go. Definitely, as people whom he is leading, we will abide by his, we will abide by it.
Even as senator, he was supporting
exactly a boss. At least that time the union was one. The union was not divided. But since he came, even though the thing started before he came, we had expected that at least since he came, he would have at least brought the things.
That's what I want to.
Yes,
I want you to say.
He would have brought
time before
exactly. We felt that he would have brought things together so that we become one. We have met the agencies of government, commissioner, this and that, at least to make sure that this matter is resolved. But nothing is coming.
Let me, I have to accuse you pointedly. You are the governor on media.
No, don't accuse me.
I have to. You are among those. I suspect you may be among those who are not advising the governor very well, and some other functionaries of the governor. Yes, because you are running your print, your paper, as well as other people, and yet you belong to different another faction of the publishers. Are you happy with the development?
Now I can see that you are indirectly dragging me into area I didn't want to. Let me tell you, since you are dragging me. IMPA. Yes. The problem IMPA is having today is child's play compared to the. Hold on now.
You said there was no faction in IMPA.
No, have I said that now? I have not said that. Who said the problem IMPA is having today is by no means bigger than the one we had during the last administration. Do you understand? I've told you that though it's unfortunate, both the one that's happening at NUJ, IMPA, and the Nawatch and the whatever is unfortunate. But I know the problem. The problem majorly is not from the government. Majorly is not from the. You know why I say it's not from the government? If both of us are united and we are working in this establishment and we decide nobody will put spanner in the wheel of our problem, nobody will do that. Okay? But in these unions
Awards and the new
they know the see, this is a national later we can talk about this issue. But the one I'm here is the issue of labor. Governor Hope Uzodinma is the most labor friendly governor in this, and I have reasons to justify that. I have very clear reasons. By the way, even today, as we talk today, it's unarguable that Governor Uzodinma has done for labor what no governor, living or dead, has done for them. And they are there to testify. They have been testifying yesterday on May 1st. Even pensioners themselves gave him an award. Today, they can stay and the comfort of
the same labor, the same pensioners now will come out tomorrow and drag themselves to the government house and with placards and say they are being owed 24 months. They are being owed 7 months. Definitely, they will still do it. They still do it. Don't worry, we are journalists. Excuse me. Yes, we are journalists. What we are saying is that from tomorrow, any pensioner that comes out to say government is owed, no, that is holding them. Nobody will report them. Black them out. You see, because they have claimed that government.
Listen, let me tell you. As of today, governor is up to date with their payment. If tomorrow they are being owed, they will protest. If you owe them tomorrow, they will protest. That doesn't mean that tomorrow, if you don't treat them well, they will shut their mouth off. But the truth is that at the comfort of that, before we saw situation where pensioners, old men and women will lie at the banking halls for days before they could get their salary. Today, at the comfort of their homes, they receive their pension. Their gratuity, the government has promised to pay their gratuities. Packed up. Today, check-up dues. Workers are receiving promotion that they have stored for 10 years. Government recently released it to them. Workers receive their salaries as at when due. Today, workers will go to work through and fro, free of charge. Today, workers have free enrollment of insurance. So what are we talking about? They have good roads to play on.
But it's okay.
Workers will never give the workers.
Yeah, we know the governor is performing.
The most important thing is that let him bring this strike thing to an end. Yes. Let Imo people rejoice back. Let Imo people be happy that we have a good we have a government that at least when you go to your house you use NEPA. When you go to the airport, you take your flight and go to where you want to go to. So let him bring this strike to an end
before you bring
without prolonging it.
Talk to Ajiroya first before making the suggestion.
We have come to the end.
Talk to Ajiroya yourself.
Mother, thank you for.
Thank you very much.
Sambi, thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you very much, my pleasure.
And you have heard it all from my guest. The SA to governor is protecting the government, saying the strike action is undeserving because some of the issues alleged did not happen. Well, what we are asking, Imo people are asking, is the government should intervene fast.
That's
to
it.
save the great inconvenience people are suffering. You can not do much without power. On this note, I round off the program and thank you for being part of it. My name again is Afam H. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.